Greetings, viewer. Adventure Link here. Well, this is kind of like a follow-up video to my very first YKWBS video, which, as you all remember, covered cryptic bullshit involving electrical problems with this particular Velocity Micro netbook. Well, I had actually a friend on Facebook go over the diagnosis for me. He came to the conclusion that the video card on this thing is shot, and as you all have probably heard, this video card, CPU, and I think the sound card in this are not removable. There's not only not a bar to release it, like on a traditional desktop CPU when you remove that, but it also appears to be glued or otherwise JB welded to the board. And if you've been following my Facebook post, I did get a new netbook, which is this little guy right here, this HP. Is a Pavilion DM1, and as you can see, it runs Windows 7 Home Premium. And it was also my understanding that since I got this netbook recently, and by recently I mean anything after June 2012, I forget the exact day, I'm eligible to get a copy of Windows 8 Professional for $15.99 when it comes out. So ever since I got this netbook, or at least a MacBook or some other computer, I've been dying to do a teardown video of this netbook. As you all remember, this is the Velocity Micro Notemagix v10e Netbook. As you can see, it comes stock with what's on the sticker: 1.3 meg webcam, 10-inch widescreen display with a CRT output, resolution 1024 by 600 pixels, gig of RAM, Intel Atom 1.6 gig CPU, and 160 gig SATA hard drive. And like I said, we're going to tear it down today. Tools you'll need: there's this jeweler's screwdriver set, a number 4 Phillips, number 6 Phillips, 564 flathead, 364 flathead, 132nd flathead. These Phillips heads are mostly for the Phillips head screws on the net, all over the netbook. These three are mostly for just popping the access panels and such open. You also need a little container to hold the screws. I'm personally using an Altoids box, but if you're a noob, or newbie rather, not the NOOB one that disrespects, you should ideally have a multi-container box, something that's designed like to hold baseball cards or a tackle box. That would work great for you. So with that being said, we're going to get to the disassembly. Now, first thing you want to do is remove your battery. There are two clips here. One clicks in place either way. You want to get in the unlocked position. The other one you had to hold in the unlocked position and remove the battery. You want to hold that part in, remove the battery now. Alrighty. Now you want to remove these screws. There's one right here, one over here, one up there, one up here, one over here, one over here, one over here, and if I didn't cover this one, there's one right here. You'll need your number 6 Phillips screwdriver. Remove the screw now. Just as a fair warning, some of these screws have little plastic or copper or whatever supports that hold the screw down to the motherboard. Some of these little holders may break off, so don't be surprised if at the end of the video or at the end of your repair project that you have extra screws lying around. Remove those screws now. Next thing you want to do is remove this KB screw. It also gets undone with this number 6 Phillips screwdriver. I didn't initially cover it because I wasn't sure of the size of the screw. Not to mention, this screw will be a little bit longer than the ones you just extracted. So go on ahead and extract this screw now. Alright, next thing you want to do is remove these two silver screws. There's one right there, one over there. Both of these screws get taken out with the number 4 screwdriver. Go on ahead and remove these screws now. Alright, the last screws you need to remove, well, for now anyway, are this screw here This screw over here in the battery compartment, a number 4 Phillips screwdriver, this bad boy also takes it out. Remove these 2 screws now. Alright, now you should be able to take off this back panel. Now I've done this, as you all know, many times all at once, so I can remove it by hand because I've actually worn out some of the contacts that hold it in. Because as you all know, I've removed this piece here many times. That way I can diagnose each major component one at a time. So I've pretty much wore this down, but just so you know, you should be able to pop in here with one of your flathead screwdrivers and pop off the little panel there. And so go on ahead and remove it if you didn't already do so. As you all have guessed, you are now into the underside of your netbook. But where do I begin the disassembly? Well, we can start with the CPU fan. It's obviously not held in by anything. Wasn't held in by anything before. It's not held in by anything now. If your particular netbook does have screws for it, which obviously there were mounting screws probably for some models. If it has screws, go ahead and remove them. But I can at least show you that this electrical connector takes out the fan. Comes out like this. Set it over to the side. Next off is this RAM stick. Should be able to pop out the side tabs. Comes right up. I'm going to go ahead and put it back in because I'm not going to lose this little RAM stick later on. And of course, it just goes in at an angle, snaps down. I put it back in and I'll show you guys how to do it. But it is, exposed circuit board, and that's not a good thing to have laying around. So yeah, these speakers, I'm still not sure how to take these speakers off the motherboard, but if you have an idea on how to do it, feel free to post a video or post instructions in the comment section. I'll gladly take them into consideration, but I can at least show you that this electrical connector pops it off. Next thing we're going to do is remove the wireless card, which I'm going to guess is this thing right there. 2 number 6 Phillips head screws, take it out. Remove these screws now. In addition, it also comes off this electrical connector here. Now we're going to take off this module here. This appears to hold 2 USB ports, the mic port, headphone port, and the modem. First thing you want to do is remove this electrical ribbon here. Next, extract the 2 number 6 Phillips head screws that hold it into the frame. And it just comes right out. Along with, like I said, what appears to be the wireless card. Next thing we're going to do is remove the hard drive. Another number 6 screw takes it out. One screw up here. One screw down here. From there, this should wiggle out. There it is. Mostly, you gotta remove these tucked in wires if they're tucked in on your model. Alright, as you can see, this is that Toshiba 160 gig SATA drive. And to take the old one off and put the new one in, you want to take this brace here. There's another one of those number 6 screws right there. Another number 6 screw right up there. Extract those screws, put the new brace on, and put your hard drive in. While I was going over the screen removal to show you guys, I do want to make a correction. I'm going to guess this is actually the actual sound card, which does make sense because This does appear to go into the part with the USB connections and the microphone and the headphone jack. So this actually may be the sound card. This is the wireless card. I do apologize, but with that being said, how to remove the wireless card is there's just another one of those number 6 Phillips head screws. Raises it up, slides on out, and of course it slides back in just like so, and you put the screw back on the board. Now with that being said, it does make more sense too, because this is the wireless card. There's a little antenna that goes into the screen, and there's another little electrical connector right here. Should just be able to pop that right on out. Or not. Whoops. And this is like I always say, safety, doing the job right the first time, etc. are all number one. As you can see, that thing was quite a biatch to remove, but since this is a junked netbook anyway, I'm not going to worry about it too much. But hopefully out there, you on YouTube land, do remove that electrical connector properly. Looks like this. And of course, the screen extraction. There are 4 screws that hold it in. Here, 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 and here. All these are number 6. Remove these now. With the screws removed, you should be able to open it up like so. And there are these 2 little pins, alignment pins that hold it in, and there it is. All I need to do now is just remove this electrical connector right up here. Remove it carefully. You may need one of your screwdrivers to pop it out. I personally used whatever was left of my fingernail. There it is. In addition, there appears to be another electrical connector held in by this little conduit thing. And it's right over here. So go ahead and remove that connector now. And with the exception of the wireless card, there's your screen fully extracted. Obviously, the wireless card antenna somehow tied into this monitor screen. Last but not least, we have the motherboard. It appears to be held in by 2 more of those little Phillips head screws. One right there, one over here. So going ahead and remove those screws now. Just one correction. There's another screw that I found. It's right there. Go on ahead and extract that screw as well. Alright. Now with the screws out, there should be one of these ribbony things. Extract here. Another ribbony thing for the mouse, which is extracted up here. Or not. Normally you would extract that ribbony thing up there for the mouse. And the motherboard is separate. See, I was not kidding when I said that this thing, CPU and video card, were obviously JB welded or otherwise glued to the board, because as you can see, there are no latches there to release it, and you can see all the JB weld marks on each of the corners. This here is the keyboard. It pretty much extracts just like so. Should be able to take your little Phillips head screwdriver and pop all these little grooves out, or carefully pop them out by hand. This is your mouse. I do have a correction up here. This is not a motherboard bolt. That was a bolt that holds the mouse to the frame. There's 2 more bolts like this, and then there's this little ribbon for the keyboard, which goes to the motherboard. Before I close out this video, I do want to give a quick fair warning about the keyboard. when you put the keyboard back in, or when you get a new one and you put it in its proper position, you may find that you won't have enough ribbon to get out to make the ribbon extract and go back into its electrical connector. So what I do is I take the keyboard, take it out as far as you can like this. That should give you enough ribbon to get it out of its hole here. Bend it back, put it in its electrical connector, and see these gray tabs here? That's probably some kind of holder that holds it in place. You take it out with your fingernails, put the ribbon back in the electrical connector, and then put the gray tabs back in, and that should hold it in there so you can flip the motherboard back over, get the keyboard back in its proper position, and proceed with the rebuild. Here's another quick tip upon reinstallation. See this little ribbon here for the mouse? Now you notice these little gray tabs here? Look familiar, don't they? That's right, because they're the same little black tabs. That's just like on the keyboard electrical connector. Same deal. You just take them out with your fingernails, put the mouse ribbon back inside. When you get it inside, lock it down, and it'll stay in place. Here's another quick tip. I'm still not sure what this ribbon here does over here. I'm going to guess this is probably for the other USB, the Ethernet, and all that. But same deal as the other two. They're these little gray tabs. Pull it out. You may have to maneuver this rubber piece around so you can put it back in. Then when you get these two tabs out, put the ribbon back in place. Close the two tabs down, and it's locked in place. And this was my teardown video of the Velocity Micro Notemagix v10e Netbook. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, etc. about this teardown, feel free to post in the comments section. If you have any ways on how to make any of my steps go a little better or more optimized, feel free to make video responses, and I will add them so all the other YouTubers can learn how to tear their Velocity Micro Netbooks down. If you want to see more videos like these, as well as stances, rants, vlogs, auto repair videos, etc., feel free to hit the subscribe button. You will see any new videos that I decide to churn out. And I would like to take this moment to remind you that safety, structural integrity, and doing the job right the first time, every time, are all number one. And as Eric the Car Guy would say, be safe, have fun, and stay dirty. See you next time.